Hello trader, welcome back to this new weekly market outlook video. I'm going to share with you as usual my plans for the upcoming week, specifically on major dollar pairs and commodities like gold, silver, crude oil, and even the natural gas where I have some position in. Okay, so let's see first the economic calendar to see what important news we have this week. We had pretty much all the monetary policy announcement from the major central banks. You can see it's the kind of week I think we need to be very, very careful because it looks like it could be a bloody week. Yeah, man, this could be a bloody week. This is where new beginners trader gets smashed by the market. For me, I'm gonna very, very be careful and pay attention on what the different central banks will tell us. So what they will report for the next monetary policy. Are they going to hike rates to let the rates unchanged, or are they going to lower rates? That's the major point you need to understand behind the monetary policy statement from these central banks. Okay, so let's start analyze the DXY. The DXY, in my opinion, is the most important chart because the dollar is what's drive the market, the financial market in the world. So if you know the direction of the dollar, you can make some move on major dollar pairs. So and you can spot most likely the direction of this pair. Okay, so on this one we are in monthly time frame. As you can see, this monthly we have this channel. We touch pretty much third time, one time, twice. This is the third time we touch the bottom of the channel. You see this channel, and when we zoom in, you can perfectly see that we have a huge impulsion to the upside. So that's proof there is a lot of buyers right there. So and on top of that, we are reacting right now on this monthly demand, which is holding price perfectly right now. So on monthly time frame, I want to see price reach at least this imbalance zone. This for me will be the next target on monthly time frame. And plus the fact that if we take our Fibonacci and measure the last movement to the downside, which is the monthly order flow, the last monthly order flow bearish, you can clearly see the 50% is overlapping perfectly around this imbalance. So I wanted to see some retracement around this level on monthly time frame. So let's go down to the weekly time frame. On weekly time frame, you can see I mentioned this support and resistance where price was ranging for a long time. So we seems like we finally broke above. You can see we close with this weekly candle. We close pretty much above the range. So this is for me is a good sign for continuation to the upside. So what I am looking for the upcoming week, maybe after a long impulsion like that, we need some retracement before continuing higher. So I want to see some retracement maybe around this level, which is, I remember you, this the higher time frame level. So this could be a strong level. This level you can see it right there. So I want to see some retracement first before continuation, or even a further retracement around this level in weekly time frame. You see, this could act as a support and continuation higher. But overall, my direction is bullish if you understand what I'm doing. On daily time frame, what do we have? And again, we have this supply right there after this imbalance, which could be the next target, maybe on the next month. I don't know because there is a lot of distance from this level to this level. This is a lot of points, so that's require a lot of energy from the market to move and reach right there. So let's see what we happen. So what do we have on daily time frame? Daily time frame, we can clearly see the momentum have shift. You can see we have shift from the upside, so we are pretty much, I would say, we are bullish from this low to this high. So this, excuse me, so this will be my daily low, the origin of my daily order flow, so from this low to this high. So we are bullish on daily. We are bullish on weekly from this low to this high. So weekly and daily are bullish. Let's go down to the 4 hour. On 4 hour, we can see we have some sort of channel which is setting up right now. So we have this order flow 4 hour bullish from this low to this high. So for me, I'm expecting some sort of retracement, as I said, in higher time frame, even maybe first on this level, or even further in a discount price around this level, or this dimension will be a higher probability to continue the trend. But I will not exclude that with the strength of the dollar and due to the situation in the Middle East, the geopolitical tension in the Middle East, the US dollar is very strong, and we could possibly see a continuation straight without giving us a retracement before. So the next target would be this high I mark up right there before reaching the imbalance I mark up in higher time frame. So we could see some retracement after rejecting this high, some sort of retracement, and then start to go up again. Or if we get a lot of strength of on DXY, we could see even a higher time frame continuation, and then we have a retracement. In any way, I want to see some retracement before engaging on buying the DXY. Okay, so that's it. The next one is EURUSD. So on EURUSD, what do we have? We know that we have this kind of structure. We pretty much react on this demand right there. So this is the new trend, the current trend right there. So let me zoom in. You can see the recent order flow is bullish on monthly time frame from this low to this high, but it seems like we are rejecting this supply or order block. You can see right there. If I go to the line chart, you can clearly see. If I go to the line chart, you can clearly see this represent the order block. You see, so this is the type of zone. This is the extreme supply we just react with this week. You can see. So for me, as I said in my last weekly market outlook, I want to see some retracement of this price because I think we are overbought. I still think we are overbought. You can see we are in the top of channel. So I want to see at least some retracement around the 50% mark of the channel. You see this line, this dotted line, blue dotted line. This represents the 50% mark of the channel. So I want to see some continuation, maybe at least around this support, and the fact that we have some direction on US dollars, so that comfort me on selling, continue to selling Euro USD. So on weekly time frame, you can see we already reverse. You can see we have some sort of reverse. You see we pretty much close below this low, so the weekly order flow just switch bearish. So this is a good sign for a retracement of this monthly order flow, because if, for example, I measure this last monthly order flow, we can clearly see the 50% is right there. So we see we have some room to target the discount zone right there on monthly time frame. Okay, so for this week, I want to see maybe on buy side, if I could see some retracement around this resistance, would be perfect to enter again on a sell, or we could possibly just see a continuation due to the strength of the dollar directly to the downside. So my direction is bearish on weekly time frame. Let's go to the daily time frame. So what do we see on daily time frame? On daily time frame, you can clearly see the price is bearish. Yeah, so this is my order flow. We are bearish from this high to this low. You need to pay attention. Why? Because currently price is located on this demand zone from the past. So we could possibly see some reaction from this low, from this demand, and maybe catch a retracement around this level to continue the trend. This is the kind of scenario I want to see clearly. So we have some imbalance right there where price could, even if it want to retrace even further in a premium price before continue lower. This is the type of trade scenario I want to see. Let's go down to the 4 hour. On 4 hour, you can clearly see we are making a down, we are in downtrend clearly. So same thing, want to see some retracement before attacking the low again. You see, on 1 hour time frame is the same scenario, I guess. So nothing to say. So as long as we are not closing above this, we still bearish. You see, we are still bearish. So want to see some retracement, maybe around there or somewhere here, to take a short. So keep in mind that this scenario will not be achieved because of the strength of dollar. With the strength of dollar, we could simply continue to broke to the downside before we will retrace. But overall, my direction, if you get what I'm saying, my direction is bearish. I want to find a sell setup. The next one is the pound USD. So for the GBPUSD, what do we have? You can clearly see we are in a downtrend from this high to this low. This is the monthly order flow bearish. We have already retraced. If I measure with my Fibonacci tool, we are already in extreme premium price. So what do you expect on extreme premium price? We expect a selling opportunity. So that's why I'm bearish on long term. I'm bearish long term on pound USD, and the fact that the pound is fundamentally weak. The economy right now in United Kingdom is very weak. We don't see enough of growth. So this will be very interesting what the Bank of England will do. We know that we have interest rates this week, so we're gonna very pay attention on what the Bank of England will do. So anything I'm explaining right there could change because of the new monetary policy. So that's why this week I think I will more so observe what the announcement of the central bank will do and act after the announcement. On GBPUSD, what I'm seeing, I'm selling. I want to sell the direction maybe towards this low. You see this candle, monthly candle? It looks like we are targeting this low. Okay, we have some intermediate level right there which could give some reaction, but overall, I want to see a a downside on weekly time frame. We can see we have this trend line. We just broke below the trend line, so good sign for continuation to the downside. We have the last weekly order flow is bullish from this low to this high. So we still have a demand right there. This is what I'm talking about. So we need to pay attention to this level. We could see some reaction down there because the weekly order flow is still bullish. But if we zoom out, we can see we kind of forming some sort of double top. So I wouldn't be surprised if you break this low, some sort of continuation like that. So on daily time frame, what do we see? Same thing, but the daily time frame has just switched bearish. You can see we just broke this low. So my last daily order flow is bearish from this high to this low currently. So and I like to follow the daily order flow. So the daily follow is powerful. You can see we already react on this demand zone. We have a little bit of reaction, but we couldn't go even higher. We reject this point of control, which is powerful point of control from the last year. I'm using a volume profile to mark up this type of line. On 4 hour, you can clearly see we are bearish. The price is distributing around this channel. So, and by the way, I took some trade around here last week. I will do some trade breakdown video. Maybe I will do it in the middle of the week. So yeah, to explain why I took this trade. So pretty much a good trade. I close around this level. I make some good pips, some good amount pips. So I will show you in another video. But I still think the trend is down. So I'm expecting, as I say, maybe a retracement around a certain level right there to take the continuation. So I want to target this level. Okay, so I'm not excluding that price will not give a retracement, but try to continue. This is a possibility, and if I don't have some sort of retracement, I will not get in the trade. Simple as that. So we need to be disciplined on what's and follow the plans. So yeah, my direction is bearish on the pound. The next pair is Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, you can clearly see we have react on monthly time frame, higher time frame. We react from this demand. The internal structure is bearish. You can see until we get some monetary policy of on Aussie, which want to, I think, which project to hike rates on Aussie. So hiking rates bring some strength on the currency Aussie. So that's why we are seeing the Aussie. Let me zoom in, pumping from the beginning of the year. So this is due to the projection of the RBA, the Central Bank of Aussie. So I mentioned last week we want to target this high. So it seems like we are already target with this week. So I'm expecting some rejection, some retracement, maybe around this level. Remember, we are in monthly time frame, so we have some room to retrace around this level before continue the trend. Okay, so that's what I'm looking. Let's go down to the weekly. So what do we see on weekly time frame? So on weekly time frame, we can see my last order flow weekly is bullish from this low to this high. Maybe we could see some sort of retracement, maybe around a discount zone, but this is very far away. I'm not doing this kind of prediction, so I want to see clear on daily time frame. On daily time frame, what do we have? We have this sort of trend line. You see, we touch one time, twice. Maybe we could see a third touch. I don't know. This is a possibility, but we can clearly see after taking these highs, as I mentioned on my last video, I want to see some huge retracement, and this is what's happening right now, judged by based on the candle we are seeing right now. So the momentum is bearish, clear. So I want to target this low. It seems like we are going to target this low for the next week if the US dollar continue to getting strong. Remember, we have some sort of demand right there and some imbalance in a discount zone. You see, so if I measure from my last daily order flow bullish, we could see the discount price start somewhere here. So we have a lot of room to drop. You see, so but I'm very careful on AUD USD because the OZ is fundamentally bullish. So at any moment, this thing could reverse and continue higher. So that's why I'm very careful on this pair because of the monetary policy on OZ. On 4 hour time frame, we see how these demands will react many times. We finally target the how the we finally target the highs, and it seems like yeah we are bearish. The momentum is bearish right now. So let's go to the 1 hour. What do we see on 1 hour time frame? I see we have some sort of supply right there where we could potentially see if price want to retrace some sort of setup to the sell side, targeting this low. You see, this is the scenario I'm seeing right now. But if we don't have this scenario next week and we have something like a quick continuation, taking these lows, I will not use this supply again because we could see some huge retracement maybe above this supply, targeting a better supply in premium zone before continuing lower. So for this week, I want to see a retracement first, maybe around the point of control from the last week or the supply, and taking a short. That's pretty much my plan on AUD USD. If I don't get this, I will not trade the AUD USD this week. The next pair is Kiwi dollar. So on Kiwi dollar, you can clearly see we have this structure. We broke this high, we form some sort of demand right there, and price retest many times this demand zone. We are in monthly time frame, so this is a big demand zone. This demand zone is holding price right now, so it seems like we have some sort of range right there. I expect some explosion to the downside, but it seems like we are not ready to go up again due to the strength of dollar right now. So the dollar is pushing this pair to the downside. You can see this candle. So let's go down to the weekly to see it clearly. On weekly time frame, I don't see any direction. You see, I'm expecting some sort of break of this side to form a trend to the upside and confirm my weekly order flow bullish, but it seems like we are forming a range. We are ranging from this high to this low. So I would not be surprised if we continue to target the low of the range. So that's what I'm seeing. On daily, what do we have? So on daily time frame, we still have the structure bullish on daily time frame. You can see from this low to this high, we are bullish. So that's why we need to pay attention on this demand zone. How price will react on this zone. If we slow down, it's okay, but there is a possibility we blast this demand zone and maybe target a lower demand zone right there before continue higher. So that's what you need to take in consideration. And and for me, for this week, I don't want to enter this market. This is not a better zone to enter this market. It's like you want to stop a Ferrari, which is driving at high speed. You're gonna get hurt. So we need to see some slowdown of the price. And by telling slowdown, I mean some sort of range like that. You see, some sort of range before taking a direction or to the upside or to the downside. So that's what I'm looking. Let's go to the 4 hour. The 4 hour, we can clearly see we are bearish right now. So yeah, expecting as the AUD some sort of retracement maybe around this zone before continuation. The next pair is USDJPY. So USDJPY is very interesting. I go up to the 12-month time frame. This is the very higher time frame, and I noticed something interesting. This support or resistance just turn as a resistance. This is an old resistance. Seems like we close above and retest this zone. We see. Let me zoom in for you. You can see we see this week we just retest this support. So this is a good sign for continuation. I want to target these highs. So very interesting. That's proof that the USDJPY is very bullish. And on top of that, we have some sort of head and shoulder forming, which is a good pattern for reversal. So yeah, I think we are going to target maybe at the end of the year this level. We have this big supply zone, and we could target this, but I think this is very ambitious. That's why I mark up this low as the next the next zone to target. Simply as that. Okay. So let's see because we also have the Bank of Japan. I don't know if the Bank of Japan will intervene. If the Bank of Japan intervenes severely, we could see some reintegration of the price. So this will depend on what the central banks want to do, because remember we have high inflation on Japan. Monthly time frame, what do we see on monthly time frame? We are bullish clearly. You can clearly see the structure is bullish from this low to this high, and it seems like we are targeting this high, as I said, in 12-month time frame. So nothing changed on the direction on monthly. Yeah, let's go down to the weekly. On weekly, I did mention last week we didn't have some sort of trend on weekly time frame. For me, it was ranging from this high to this low. We have some sort of range, but if we go to the daily time frame, we start to see some sort of continuation to the upside. So the last daily order flow, you can see we broke this low one time. We retraced around the supply zone and we had some seller getting in the market. But look how we didn't close below this low. Price reverse again. So this is a good sign for continuation to the upside. So the daily order flow just switch bullish again. We close above, so we are bullish from this low to this high clearly, and we can spot some sort of double bottom. You can see a W. This is a good pattern for reversal. So it's clear the next target is this high clearly. On forward time frame, we can see the order flow is bullish clearly. The last order flow is bullish from this low to this high. So as long as we are not breaking below this low, we are bullish. So I'm expecting some retracement, maybe around this point of control of the last week. I want to see some retracement before continue higher, targeting this high. That's pretty much what I see on the USD GPY. Okay. The next one is USDCAD. So if you follow my last weekly market, you know I am long-term bearish on USDCAD. Why? Because we can see on 12-month time frame, the structure is bearish. We broke this low, we retrace around the extreme premium zone. So what do we expect on extreme premium zone? We expect a sell-off. So long term, I am bearish on USDCAD, but to be bearish on USDCAD, we need to see some strength coming from the Canadian dollar. And right now, we don't have this strength on Canadian dollar. At the end of the year, I want to see price maybe retest this zone and continue targeting this low at the end of the year, because we know that the Federal Reserve at one time, maybe at the end of the year, will cut its rates. So that's why I'm seeing in long term, but it doesn't mean in short term we can take some buy. Okay, let's go down to the monthly time frame. A monthly time frame, we can see the last monthly order flow is bullish from this low to this high. So it seems like we are retracing. If I take my Fibonacci, there's a possibility that, yeah, you see we didn't touch the 50%. We didn't touch the 50% of Fibonacci yet, so we have some room to target the low. You see, so on weekly time frame, you can clearly see the structure is kind of bearish from this high to this low. So look how this demand is holding price right now. So that's why it's very difficult to sell this market right now. So plus the fact that we didn't really close below this low. Let me get rid of this to show you clearly. We see this low price weak multiple time this low, but we didn't close below. This is a proof that there is some buyers right there. So I will not be surprised if we retrace even further around this imbalance. We already retraced one time, but maybe around this supply or the extreme supply due to the strength of the US dollar. And maybe this is where we could see a huge drop on long term to target this low. But right now, it doesn't look like we are bearish, because due to the last weekly close, we closed bullish. I'm expecting some continuation for the next week. Let's go down to the daily. So on daily, what do we see? Let me get rid of that. So on daily time frame, what do we see? The structure is still bearish on daily. You see, we have retraced, I think, around the 50% one time, but we couldn't break this low. You see, so we reverse again. I think this reverse was caused by the last data on Canadian dollar, the last jobs data. I think it was last week on Friday. Yeah, you see the unemployment change, the unemployment rate and the unemployment change. This is the data from jobs, which comes out worse. We have bad number, rise on unemployment rate, on losing jobs on Canada. Losing jobs is not good for economy. That's weakened the currency. So that's why the US dollar take advantage. The Canadian dollar is weak. So that's why we are seeing some pump to the upside. So on 4 hour, what do we see? It seems like on 4 hour we was ranging from this high to this low. Yeah, some sort of range right there. So for this week, as I said, I want to target this high, maybe the point of control of the year towards this supply zone as a first target. But we need to see some retracement first. So we could see some retracement around there to take advantage of the trend to the upside, or even a further retracement around this demand zone to continue higher. But my target on US dollar on short term is bullish right now. So I don't see any sign of bearish right now because we still have this big demand zone on higher time frame which is holding price, and the fact that the US dollar, the DXY is strong. So this could push the price to the upside. The next one is USDCHF. So for USDCHF, we know that we are long-term bearish. This pair is bearish for a long time. So what do we see on USDCHF on monthly time frame? The order flow is bearish from this high to this low. Clearly, we have this resistance right there, which could be a retest before continuation to the downside. So I also think this resistance is located here, is overlapping with the 50%. So somewhere here we could see some reversal. But I don't even sure if price will go there because of the very bearish nature of this pair. So let's see. By the way, this level is a 12-month level. You can see this white line. This is where I mark up my resistance. Okay, so this is the level right there. Another level, you can see we have this support. We currently we are breaking to the upside, this resistance. Let's go down to the weekly to see it clearly. Yeah, we completely close above this level. So but keep in mind that the weekly order flow is still bearish from this high to this low. Maybe we are simply retracing the weekly order flow bearish. So let's see if I take my Fibonacci. You can see we close above the 50%. We are going to target a higher premium price, maybe around this supply zone right there. We have a weekly supply right there, so which could be the next target. So for this week, with the strength of the US dollar, I still think we could potentially go higher. Pay attention on the yearly open, which could act as a resistance. I want to see a little bit of retracement to test this level before continuation, or even a further retracement around this support to start going up again. Okay, on daily time frame, we still have the daily bearish from this high to this low. So we are retracing to the premium zone. We had this other block, which is where the price is currently in. So let's see what reaction we have there. But I still think with the strength of the dollar, we could possibly go touch the monthly supply, which is right there. On 4 hour time frame, you can clearly see we are breaking the high. We are bullish from this low to this high. Same thing. Want to see some retracement, a little bit of retracement before continuation, or there is a possibility that price decide to go directly, keep pushing without giving us a retracement. Maybe around the top of the channel we can see some retracement. So right now the USDCHF is bullish. The next one is the gold. So on gold, it doesn't look good. It doesn't smell good, folks, because we are seeing a selling pressure on monthly time frame. Let's go down to the weekly. You can see we close bearish, so that's proof there is a lot of seller last week. So I will not be surprised if we continue the momentum targeting this low. So this low could be a next target for the week. We have this demand right there. We already react one time, so this could be a nice zone for a potential swing again to the upside. So this is where I will pay keep my eyes and pay attention. We could potentially get some swing trade from this zone. So on daily time frame, we are bullish from this low to this high. Look how we react pretty much at the discount price. We Some buyers enter right there and push the price to the upside, but we couldn't push to the all-time high. This is doesn't look good, guys. So last week I wanted to see a continuation and a rebound from this zone, but we didn't get that. It seems like we want to close below this point of control from the last month, which is a strong zone. If we really close below, there's high chance we continue to sell the at least towards this level and maybe this level. Let's go down to the 4 hour. So on 4 hour, I had this channel last week to monitor the trades. I wanted to see some sort of reintegration in the channel and continuation to target this high, but we didn't get that. Instead, we reject this imbalance. I think this imbalance on daily. We reject and starting to see seller enter the market. So that doesn't look good. Even though I had this demand zone right there, which react perfectly, but at that time price was ranging. So let's see. In this time, it's just a wait and see situation. We don't need to get in the trade every time, so we need to observe what will happen. I had some demand right there if we could see some potential reaction right there, but yeah, I'm not very confident about buying gold right now. So yeah, it seems like we are looking to sell. If we break this low, there's a possibility we can see a new order flow for our bearish forming from this high to this low and continue to see the downtrend coming from this. So as I said, my best zone to swing trade will be this level on higher time frame. If price decide to get there and if we get some signal, this will be a good sign to swing trade. So the next one in silver. So same thing on silver, we can see on monthly time frame a bearish momentum. You see, seems like we have some seller. Go to the weekly. Same thing, we closed bearish last week, so seems like we are ready to target this low and maybe the point of control from the last year, which is this level. So we have some room to target this. And let's go down to the daily. So on daily, you see how the point of control from the last month holding price at this level. So we break below retest. It seems like we want to continue to target these lows. So let's go down to the 4 hour. For our same thing, we didn't reintegrate the channel. I was markup last week, so it seems like we are rejecting this channel. So the same chart as gold. So in any way, silver and gold sometimes go to the same side. So if you have the direction on gold, we could potentially have the direction on silver. So same thing. Need to pay attention. It's not the good time to buy right now. So I will be very in a buyer reconsidering buying this instrument if we really break this high. So we have something like that, a strong push to the upside, holding above and starting to buy again. But if we don't get that, it seems like we most likely want to show there is a lot of seller on this market. Same thing, we have a better zone right there. I don't know if silver or gold we get there, but if we get there, this could potentially a good trade on swing position for this instrument. Okay, the next instrument is US oil. So US oil, this is crazy. To be honest, I will not recommend to trade it right now due to the geopolitical tension. This is a very geopolitical driven asset, so we don't want to get smashed on the market by this instrument. Let's go down to the weekly. We can see we perfectly broke this channel to the upside, but that was, look at this. I never see a candle move like that. That's crazy. You believe me, you don't want to play with this kind of market. Right now, I'm staying away of this market. Let's go up to the monthly. I mark up this imbalance right there. It seems like it's around the $100 barrel. I think we don't see it. Yeah, it's somewhere here. This is the 100 right there. So it's pretty much this is a psychology level. As I said, around the $100 barrel of oil is very dangerous for economy because it could bring inflation. And when I say that, I mean the worldwide economy. You can see the price of oil rising up, the price of food could rising up because we transport food on supermarket. We need oil to, even in businesses, in company, we use oil pretty much in all the field or the society. So the rising oil is not good for economy. It could bring inflation. So that's why I think the government or the central banks will do everything to take measure to stop inflation, even if we need to rise rates. If they need to do, if the situation doesn't calm down in the Middle East, so we could potentially see a new decision from the central bank. So yeah, as long as this conflict is going, keep going, this is not good. This is very good. For me, I will stay away of this market for a moment. It's not the time to trade. You can see we already tapped the extreme supply zone around $120. This is very expensive for a barrel of oil. So we kind of fluctuate between this dangerous. This is an expensive oil above 100, very expensive and not good for economy. Let's go down to the daily. Yeah, you see, it seems like we are reject this level and we're trying to go again. So the conflict is not finished. So as long as this conflict is there, yeah, for me this is a high volatility pairs or instrument. I don't want to trade it right now. I prefer to focus on other pairs. Okay. And let's finish with natural gas. So natural gas compared to the US oil, we still have some room, a potential room to see the price of natural gas rising to the upside. So let's go down to the weekly. As you can see, and as I mentioned on my last weekly market, I took some position already on natural gas. I took the first position, I believe it was on January. Right now I am in downtrend, as you can see. Full transparency. I took it around here because in January we had a winter storm in North America, I believe. So that was very that's that's need a lot of demand of on natural gas because we when it's cold we need to warm up some household to fight the cold season. So as long as we are in winter season and winter season is will be over soon because we are approaching the spring season and the summer season. So as long as we are winter season is not finished, I said I want to buy again the natural gas. So last week we pretty much rebounds, we close, we reintegrate the channel pretty much. I have also have this point of control from the last year where I really want to see a close above. If we close above, I will be okay and put my stop to break even to let the trade and swing it to the upside. Right now, it looks like it's struggling to pass through this level. On 4 hour, we can clearly see I mentioned last week the formation of this pattern, head and shoulder. We just break the head, the neckline, we retest. It seems like we we want to go again, but yeah, let's see what happened on the Monday, the next Monday open. So all I want to see is some gap breaking this high. If we break this, retest around this will be good for me, and maybe I will pass my stop to break even. So that's it. This is the end of the video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This will help me know that you appreciate my content and my analysis. Thank you for watching. Have a nice trading week and be very careful. Remember, we have pretty much a bloody could potentially have a bloody week this week with all these announcements from the central bank. So yeah, it was Josue, the part-time trader. I'm out.